Good morning and welcome to session number 2 here on this Sunday morning of the 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. My name is Matt Judkins. I'll be bringing you this morning's action along with our producer and camera operator, Kevin Girth, as we get set here now for 6 events here in this session number 2 on Sunday morning. It's session number 7 overall for this swim meet. First event today will be the 200-yard IM. If you are going through your heat sheets at home, that'll be event number 37 on that heat sheet. And hey, you don't have to be at home to watch. You can be watching from your mobile device anywhere in the world. We've had shout-outs as far away as the UK and Hawaii and all across the U.S., Maine, Florida, up in Alaska even the other evening. My name is Matt Judkins. As I mentioned, you can text me right here. 314-369-3289 is my phone number. Again, 314-369-3289. That is my phone number. Coming in with event number 1, it's the 200-yard IM. We'll have 3 competitors in this event. It'll be Willa Shank in lane 3, Esther Borgmeyer in lane 4, and Taylor Altroji in lane number 5. This event is 1 lap of the pool in each of the 4 strokes. Starting out with the butterfly, which you see right now, and it'll be Borgmeyer touching the wall first, going back the other way, followed by Altroji and Shank. Once they touch the wall down here at the start end of the pool, which is to your left, they will then shift to the backstroke. From the backstroke, they go to the breaststroke, and then finishing up with the freestyle. As we look at our pool here for this morning's swim meet, we number the lanes from lane 1 to 6. Lane 1 is at the top of your screen, lane 6 at the bottom of your screen. As all the swimmers touch the wall, they go back the way, and Borgmeyer front running once again. She is trying to beat her previous time of 3:33.10. All these swimmers throughout the course of the weekend, this being the first official meet of the season for the Parkway Swim Club, trying to either establish a fastest time or best their previous fastest time. And we've seen a lot of good swimmers. We've had some AAA time standard swims. We've had some double A's, some A's, lots of double B's and B times established this weekend as well. Both swimmers now about to touch the wall at the same time. Looks like Taylor will touch first in the backstroke, go the other way. He does. 1:32.46 on his touch. 1:32.55 for Esther. Willa now, she'll touch as well. The 10-year-old will go the other way. 1:41.64 for her. This young lady got a lot going on in her young life, and had a chance to talk to her father, Brett, who is actually one of the officials as well, also serves on the Parkway board as the treasurer, but she's in 5th grade at Edgar Road Elementary School in the Webster Grove School District, and she actually goes to school with my nephew, Max. So maybe if Max is listening, we'll give him a little shout out, but huge fan of Percy Jackson, loves the mythology portion of it, and almost as much as she loves swimming, her father told me, you know, she really likes the distance events, especially the 500 free, and some days she wants to swim the mile. Just 10 years old, that's quite a feat. We'll touch the wall here on the start side, and it'll be Altroji first, and nice split time of 2:30.74, followed quickly by Borgmeyer, 2:33. And approaching the wall for her final touch will be Shank once again, and we want to give a shout out to her grandmother as well. She is tuning in down in Florida. This gives her the opportunity to watch her granddaughter compete this weekend. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, you can send me a text at 314-369-3289. Let me know you're out there listening. Let me know what swimmer or swimmers you're interested in talking about. Maybe a little tidbit about them or yourself. Very fast time now of 3:10.34 established there for Taylor. His first one for this Parkway swim program. A nice drop down to 3:17.82. Shank coming in looking to drop a little bit of time as well, and she'll touch at, soft touch. I think she was just under her time, right around that 3:26 mark as well, but a drop of 15.5 seconds for Esther Borgmeyer. So fast swims for all of these youngsters as they wrap up our first heat of the morning session here. Once again, the 200-yard IM. We will now move into the second heat of this event. We will have, looks like all 5 of the 6 lanes will be filled in this one. No one will be in lane 5. That was Nick McBride. He'll scratch out of this one. Cole Strom, first one in, lane number 1. Tyler Richter, lane number 2. Marissa Benny in lane number 3. Elliott Sapp in lane number 4. Leela Hertzler in lane number 6. Of course, a number of these swimmers swam earlier this morning. Cole Strom, he loves that butterfly blue group. He also attends Edgar Road. He's in 4th grade. Plays a little soccer as well, so he was with us earlier today. Richter, though, quickly out in front of everybody else. And we saw young Tyler do the same thing yesterday in a number of his races. Some exceptional drops for this young man and his previously established times. He's going to quickly come to the wall in this first portion of the race, the butterfly. He'll touch it 35.57. Followed up quickly by Benny and Sapp, as well as Strom and then Hertzler, all within touching distance of each other. This will go, once again, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and then freestyle. First two known a little bit more as their power strokes. They require technique, but a lot of upper body and core strength, and then you got to have that powerful kick to really round out the entire stroke and make it fast. Richter continuing to lead in front. The other 4 about even with each other as they approach the middle of the pool. Richter very fast now. Young Tyler trying to beat a time of 3:01. He keeps this up. He's going to shatter that by a huge margin. First to the wall in the second portion is Strom. He'll kick off and go the other way as well. Cole Strom, just a 9-year-old. Sapp, a 10-year-old, along with Hertzler, 14 years old for Benny, and Richter, a 13-year-old. As he continues to stretch it out. Nice butterfly, breaststroke, One of the things you want to do in the breaststroke, keep your head as low as possible, glide along the water. And we see just that happening in lane number 1 with Cole Strom. And a shout out to Grandpa as well. As Richter touches the wall in 2:01, he's going to shatter his previous time, which was 3:01. Next to the wall will be Strom, followed by Sapp, then Benny and Hertzler to wrap things up as they complete the third stroke. Tyler getting a lot of shout-outs from some of his fellow teammates as well. He's strong now, mid through pool. He's going to come all the way down. Tyler Richter in lane number 2. Very fast time of 2:36.51. Cole's going to come in. He will best his previous time as well. He was at 3:04. He does at 2:51.75. Benny at Sapp at 2:53.96. 3:01.69, and then wrapping things up here at 3:09.87. A nice drop as well for Hertzler, just 10 years old. So well done all the way around in that event, but a huge drop there for Tyler Richter of 25 seconds. Now we'll go into the third heat. 6 lanes all filled in this one. Peyton Robick, lane number 1, top of your screen. Jenna Ridings in lane number 2. Connor Moran in lane 3. Andy Aschinger in lane number 4. Alex McGee in lane 5. Sophia Schmidt in lane 6. Sophia here earlier this morning as well. All these swimmers have had at least one other session under their belt in this one. This is the power stroke, the butterfly. First one to the wall. Lane number 4 is Aschinger, followed quickly behind by Ridings, and then Moran battling for it. And then in lane number 5, also very fast, McGee. This is a very fast first leg, this first 50 fly, powering their way through the water as Aschinger and McGee. They're going to touch the wall 1 and 2, followed closely behind by Moran and then Ridings. Schmidt and Robick following things up, all within touching distance. Now they go into the backstroke. Moran inching his way up towards first place. He's going to pass everyone before they touch the wall on this first one. He's there right neck and neck with Aschinger. Third place to the wall on that one, McGee, followed by Ridings. Then Schmidt, then Robick. Middle of the pool now, lanes 3 and 4. You'll often see the 2 best preliminary times stationed in those lanes, 3 and 4. Moran will touch first back to the wall. Now they'll go into the breaststroke, the most technical of the strokes. Wonderful breakout underneath the water on that pull out. That time from Assinger, he really stretched things out. Stayed underwater just a little bit longer than Moran. A lot of times we will see this breaststroke, this portion of the event, be the separating stroke for a lot of swimmers. Right now it seems like Assinger has the best of the crew in this stroke thus far. He's lengthened about a body, half a body or so ahead of Moran. They're followed in behind by McGee and Ridings, and then Robick and Schmidt. First to the wall now. Quick split of 149.34 for Assinger. He's trying to beat 231. Right now he's on pace to really shatter that mark. Both these swimmers now, they're going to compete. Moran trying to catch back up. Now he's closed the gap slightly as they approach the wall for the last 25 and a kick home. Assinger to the wall, Moran to the wall. Good flip turn at the same time. Let's see who has the better breakout. It looks like they both are even. It's going to be neck and neck all the way down to the wire. Who's got a little more left in the tank in this one? It's Moran, it's Assinger. It's Moran and Assinger to the flag, and they're even off. Who's going to touch first? All the way to the wall, and it is Assinger just slightly ahead at 2:23 flat. What a race there. Moran coming in at 2:23.05. Fourth place in this heat will be McGee. Followed right in behind there in lane number 2 by Ridings, then Schmidt and Robick. What a race that was. One of the closest races, 0.05 seconds. The difference of the touch in this one separates everyone. What a great race, and I'm going to say great job to Leela as well in that event. And she was in the previous heat, so great job all the way around. That was from one of her relatives, Leela Hertzler. But now the swimmers, if you got a race like that, you're going to have a little bit of a warm down. What a race it was. Exciting for us to watch, exciting for all the swimmers. You heard them cheering all the way through. Good drops for each of these youngsters in this event, and when it gets to be that exciting and that close, get you to the edge of your seat, of course, and just a little bit of who might have a little bit longer of arms to get to the wall first. And right now, we're going to keep it right here during this break. We are happy now to be joined by one of everyone's favorite coaches and one of our favorite coaches personally, head coach Gavin Hager of the Blue Group here today. And Gavin, 5th year for the Judkins family in the program. We know you've been here at least that long, and you're probably one of the younger guys here, but coached both of our children at some different point in time. But I want to welcome you. This is a bit of a pleasure for us to have you on the air. But wanted to have you on a little bit to talk a little bit about swimming itself. You were a swimmer growing up.
Yeah.
You and I have had a number of conversations as well about why it's important for kids who really love to swim to also be involved in other things. And one of the great things that I've got to do this weekend is talk about those other activities that kids are involved in. But thought it would be good to have you on the air to talk about what it means to one, be a swimmer, and two, what it means to be a more well-rounded kid and bring that to the swimming pool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what it means to be a swimmer here, commitment. I'll talk a little bit about that. Swimming is not a sport that is going to be easy on everybody. You're going to have to push through and, face a lot of fears, which is absolutely applicable to, life in general, youth for sure. Today's youth, I think a lot of them, due to like social media and things like that, they end up being pretty scared to go out of their homes and to try new things and things like that. So we just actually finished the 200 IMs here. A lot of kids were shaking in their boots at that time, and they did a great job. They faced the fear. They were able to kind of push through it. So, why swimming? I just think there's a lot of good that comes from it. I think it prepares you for life post youth, post athletics, post college. If we're looking that far ahead. There's a lot of time commitment that goes along with it. Several sports, you'll go through a basketball game in an hour, and here at the swim meet, you got to dedicate your whole morning to it. And then after school, a lot of practices are only an hour, and we're working 2.5 hours plus. So a lot of time commitment that goes with it. And as far as athletics as a whole, absolutely. We're always encouraging people to be well-rounded. The kids, if they're doing other activities, we want them out there doing those. At that point, life's too short not to give everything a try, right? So me personally, I'm always, if someone's playing basketball, someone's doing gymnastics, it's only furthering their athleticism as a whole. And so I strongly encourage kids to do several activities, and that way they can also discover, what they love. I think for me personally, I did 5 sports when I was a kid. I wrestled, I played football, I played basketball, I swam, I ran track, and eventually it came to a point where I had to make a decision. And I love to succeed. That was kind of my big thing. And swimming, I had the most success. So because I tried everything, I determined this is the sport that I want to commit to. And 15, 20 years down the road now, I'm quite happy that I did it, seeing how this is my profession. It's blessed me in more ways than I can count, but I also would argue that I would not have gotten to where I am now today if I had not done more sports when I was young. So long answer there. I hope that was a good one.
That's exactly what we wanted to hear.
Perfect.
And, of course, Coach Gavin has a brother and sister in the program. His mom serves on the board, so it's a family affair for the Hagers, and we want to give a nice little shout out and congratulations because that family will be increasing. You're set to get married here shortly, so congratulations to you on the engagement and the upcoming marriage. But one more quick question for you. You've been now with the program long enough to watch some of the kids grow from these younger groups all the way up to the national group. Talk a little bit about what it took for those kids to get there.
Yeah, kind of what I touched on out of the gate, commitment. That is not an easy thing to do, to go from 10, 12, 8 years old, trying to build strokes. It takes commitment, it takes focus, it takes attention to details. I had a one-on-one talk with my group about a week ago, and their focus was being able to bring your mental game every day. So the mental capacity of this sport is unmatched by most. So I would say, that is their biggest challenge, bringing the mental effort every day, bringing the mental A game every day, in addition to the physical, which is, somewhat self-explanatory. So try to keep that short, as short as I could. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the meet. Kids are swimming fast, and we're having fun out here.
Always fun. That's very key, and that's one of the things that Coach Gavin has brought to the table, is to stress to my children especially, have fun, enjoy it, get your technique down. He's a wonderful coach. We've been happy to have him over the years. Also, he coaches a little golf here and there if you got kids that need an instruction, so don't be afraid to look him up as we get ready for our next event. But thanks, Coach. Congratulations again on the engagement and the impending wedding coming up. We're going to go now to event number 2 here of our second morning session. This one will be the 100-yard freestyle. First heat here. Looks like we are going to have 2 jump into the pool. It'll be Ava Girth, that's my partner Kevin's daughter, and Adam Barnes. So it's a couple of 13-year-olds. Ava trying to break her previous time of 125.97. Adam 127.93. This will be 4 lengths of the pool, 4 full laps as we jump in right now. Of course, Ava swimming a bit secondary to her. We talked Coach Gavin just a moment ago, and he talked about athleticism. Well, her first love really is horses, folks, and she loves to compete with her horses. She does barrel racing, and this young 8th grader from West Middle School really keeps swimming as part of her regiment to stay in shape for that, which she loves more, but that's okay, because swimming benefits all these kids in so many different things. I've had long conversations about my own children and their development and what swimming's done for them. It'll be Barnes to the wall first. He'll touch 36.58, 37.33 for Ava Girth as they go back the other way. Back to that point, though, about swimming and what it can do. You look at the athleticism of some of these youngsters. Swimming works your core. It works your footwork. It works your upper body strength. All things you need in almost every other athletic endeavor, whether it's tennis, golf, basketball, baseball, softball, whatever it might be. Of course, football and soccer. Downside sometimes is the commitment it takes for swimming also can have an impact on those other sports. It looks like Ava's now going to be the first one to the wall. Right on, she's going to be well ahead of her time, 1:16.69 for that young lady. She beats her previous time by 9 seconds. A little bit of a soft touch, but definitely well ahead of his previous time as well was Adam Barnes. So congratulations to those 2 youngsters as the 13-year-olds will jump out of the pool. And now we're going to have heat number 2. Looks like we'll have 5 swimmers in this one. We are adding a swimmer in lane number 1. I believe that is Audrey Wagner in lane number 1, who was not on the initial. Anna Abig in 2, Eisworth in 3, Marissa Benning in lane 4, and Colby Robick in lane 5. Robick just 12, Abig, Eisworth, and Wagner 13, Benny 14. First one to touch the wall on the far side will be in lane 2. That is Abig, followed quickly behind Eisworth, and then Wagner in the top of the screen. Coming into the home stretch now on the first 50. Swimmers battling all the way to the wall. Lane 1 first, lane 3 second, lane 2 third, lane 5 is 4th, and then lane 4 is 5th. Sorry. Stumbling over my numbers here on a Sunday morning. To go back to get some math instruction. Well out in front of everyone now, body length and a half in lane number 1. Battling down, all swimmers trying to go better than their previous fastest time. Eisworth previously 106, so Eisworth will beat that. She comes in at 105.41. Second place in that one was Abig at 104.98. Robick coming in at 107.81. Almost a 7-second drop there. So everybody in this heat dropped or was right on their time to start things off. So nice swimming all the way around for these youngsters. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a moment here. We'll get all the strokes and times written down, but we're going to be joined by one of the head age group coaches as well, Kean Quigley, as he quickly steps on set for us. We'll get him set up, but we'll have him here in just a moment and get a chance to talk with him again. Kean representing with the blue group here today also. Coach, good morning. It's been a long weekend, obviously, but we want to welcome in blue group coach Kean Quigley, also coaches red groups and white groups, and trying to really teach these youngsters a lot about swimming. Let's talk a little bit about Coach Kean for a moment. John David was on yesterday. He said when he started with the program 6 years ago, you were the only senior. So as you can tell, Kean, a lot better looking, a lot younger than I am. You can tell there on your screen, but nonetheless, still young, and still you're trying to help all these kids develop. And we have been happy to have you. You've coached both of my kids at both the national level when you were an assistant, and now my daughter in the blue level, and it has been a wonderful experience for us. Welcome to the program today. And let's talk a little bit about first year experience. You came all the way up through the Parkway program. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what that was like, and then how that propelled you to the next level, and then to coaching right now.
I started with Parkway just to really swim with friends, and then slowly just kind of fell in love with swimming. Throughout my life, I really looked up to my coaches, and that kind of just stuck with me, and I kind of wanted to be that person for younger swimmers going up through the level 2 or the program 2, just to kind of make them better and learn a little bit about life and swimming and stuff like that. Just kind of my way of giving back almost. Yeah.
All the way now to being a coach.
Yeah.
I want to be a coach someday. Talk a little bit about those mentors and people that you look up to. But it's also something that
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really just kind of been the lifestyle I've lived. I went to school to study exercise science, and I wanted to find somewhere to apply it, and so what better way than swimming? And with our dryland program and stuff like that, I've really been able to kind of play around and toy and learn and experiment with some of these kids, and it's been a lot of fun, and I've learned a lot, so much from coaching these little ones. It's crazy. So it's been a lot of really just entertainment day in and day out. So
yeah, and it is entertaining watching these youngsters especially progress. Now you coach the white, the red, the white, and the blue groups.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about, for those out there watching, what does that mean? A lot of it is based on ages. As we know, the beginners kind of start out in red groups, they progress to white and blue, but what are you looking for in your swimmers as they progress through those levels, then on to maybe an age group select or a senior one type transition?
All right. So for red group, it's really just kind of those kids interested in learning what is swimming, kind of getting introduced to a team sport, team training almost, and really just kind of refining technique, skills, and getting that kicking base. Once they kind of master that and kind of set themselves apart in that group, then they move on to white group, where it's a little bit more training oriented, a little bit larger, bigger scale, and a little bit more intense, I would say. And then blue group is just kind of a carry on to that. And then once they graduate from blue group, they'll go on to AGS or senior one, and off to great things from there. So.
One more quick question for you.
You talked a little bit about some of that dry land experience. You brought some innovative stuff to the program about 2 years ago. My daughter, you brought that warming up before practice, warming down after practice. What do you do before meets? Talk to the parents and the other viewers out there a little bit about what some of those innovations are and why they're important to do that work outside of the pool. Swimming's just not about being in the water.
Exactly. So Coach Chris and I, we went to this a clinic in California where they kind of went over all this stuff. And basically the thought process is behind swimming, being in the water is great, but if you can't do something out of the water with no resistance, then doing it in the water with resistance is just going to be all that much harder. So it's getting kids coordinated, getting their muscles balanced, and just really kind of improving their overall coordination, everything, and then transferring it into swimming and applying it to sport-specific work and stuff like that.
Well, Kian, we want to thank you for joining us, taking a few minutes out. We know you got some swimmers to go give some more instructions to. Personal thanks from the Judkins family, as again, he has mentored both of our children, helped my sons get to the zone meet last year, telling him again, keep your head down, and we tell him that all the time, head down. But Coach, thank you, good luck down the road, and we'll let you get back to the kids. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Thank you.
That's head Blue Group coach Kian Quigley. Excuse me. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side of this one, and we'll have more great action. When we come back, we'll have the third event. That will be the 100-yard backstroke. We are back at the 2020 Parkway IMX meet. My name is Matt Judkins, along with Kevin Girth. We're bringing you the action here. Coming up now on the 100-yard backstroke, we have three in this event. Lane 3 is Adam Barnes. Lane 4 is Willa Shank. Lane 5, Libby Price. This will be 4 lengths of the pool, down and back, down and back. All these swimmers here, different levels, as Barnes and Shank come in with preliminary times. 132, 135. We don't have Price's previous time, but right now she's out ahead of everyone else. She is one of the folks in the group with Coach Kean, who we just had on the air. We want to thank he and Gavin Hager both for joining us here this morning. We'll try and get head senior one coach MJ Wohlers with us here in just a bit. First touch of the wall at 39.66 for Libby Price. She's very fast thus far in her event. Adam Barnes, the 13-year-old, also touching at 44.22, trying to beat 132. Willa Shank, the 10-year-old, trying to beat 135. She was fast as well at 47.82. Back down the other way now. Here comes Libby Price off the touch. You see the sun start to glisten in the side window. She gets out of that shadow. Now she gets to the middle of the pool. She'll come in. She's going to touch the wall at a very fast time. 121.44 for Libby, coming in right behind her, trying to make his best time. It'll be Adam Barnes. He'll touch at 133.31 and 136.86, both just off their times from previously. We're going to get this time standards to you for those earlier events here in just a few moments. You can find those time standards linked to just on this YouTube page as well as now on the Parkway website. Those are new time standards. They were just released on Friday. Looks like we're going to have 4 in this event now. It'll be Marissa Benny in lane 2, Tyler Richter, who was very, very fast earlier this morning in his first event. He's in lane 3, Riley Moran in lane 4, and Taylor Altrogi in lane number 5. And of course, Taylor, he goes to South Middle. Coach Kean loves this freestyle, but he's competing in the back here. Loves baseball also. And again, we heard both of those coaches talk about being well-rounded athletes, what it means to compete in those different sports, how it helps with your swimming and vice versa. First one off the wall and coming back the other way is Tyler Richter, the 13-year-old, and he has been very fast here this morning. Again, we're going to get his splits for you, or his actually time standards, back to you in just a few moments. Riley Moran will be second one into the wall. Nice flip turn by that young lady. Evens right now with Benny and Altrogi. I want to give a shout out to our good friend Mike Ridings, listening in to his daughters. Of course, he's got 3 daughters in the program, all very accomplished swimmers, Lucy, Jenna, and Claire. So hello to Mike, and glad we could bring you this action. And he's probably glad he's not in here sweating with the rest of us. The swim meets you can lose a couple pounds. That's the only good side of being inside the heat and humidity. Front running now, Tyler Richter trying to beat a time of 126. He's going to beat that easily, as he's going to coast into the wall here inside of 120. In fact, he'll be in at 115.79. Nice fast time for young Tyler. Quickly followed in at 120.73 by Riley Moran. Touching the wall third will be Marissa Benny. She'll be right near her time at 129.65, just off her previous best, and 133.98 for Taylor as he hops out just a little off his time. But again, we'll get you some of those time standards here in just a few moments. I want to say hello to Kyle Matheny. He's been listening all weekend long, and we got our first shout out from my producer from Kyle, but he deserves all the credit in the world for this. I get to be the front man. Very similar to, we heard the passing of Eddie Van Halen. He was the true heart behind Van Halen this week. Well, Kevin's the true heart behind this production. David Reed Roth and Sammy, they were the front men. That's what I get to be on this one. Jumping back in the pool now on heat number 3 of this 3-heat event. It's the 100-yard backstroke. We'll have 5 competitors. Lane 5 is vacant. Elliot Sapp in lane 1, top of your screen. Leah DeBosch, she turned in the first AAA time of the weekend on Friday evening. She's in lane 2. Andy Assinger in lane 3. Jenna Ridings in lane 4, and Alex McGee in lane 5. Alex was very fast in his earlier event today as well. Ridings will be the first one off the wall. She has been a zone swimmer in the past, and right now she is front running here in this 100-yard backstroke. This event, down and back for each of these 5 competitors. It's a full lap 2 times around. Ridings and DeBosch even off as they go. Ridings 35.11, 35.13, just 0.02 of a second apart for those 2 youngsters as they compete now, going back down the other way. well ahead of their previous times. Riding's trying to beat 114, Dabash 115. They're going to be even as they come to the walls again, and Assinger right in there with them as well. They push off in the breakout underwater, and it looks like Assinger taking a little bit of a lead. He's got a little left in the tank as he widens it out. Andy Assinger, the 14-year-old, now lengthens it out by a body. He's very fast into the wall. He's going to drop significant time. He touches, soft touch for him on the top, right in behind him at 111.97 for Dabash, 112.70 for Ridings, all very fast, 117.52, and then 120.59. That'll round things out. But man, what an event, what a fast one. Good race from all 5 of our competitors. And always fun to watch when it comes right down to the wire. You get inside the flags and you got a couple of swimmers within a touch of each other, and that makes that finish very, very exciting. But congratulations to all those youngsters as Assinger comes into that one at 111.59, besting his previous by more than 2 seconds. Dabash almost 4 seconds, besting her previous time, and Ridings almost 2 full seconds ahead of her previous time. We're going to take a break here on this one. What I'm going to do is take some time to figure out who has gotten some qualifying times. We're going to check our text. You can text me 314-369-3289. We've had a couple folks here that I need to catch up on. We got a couple of them mentioned just a few moments ago, but Hannah Borgmeyer, we want to say hello to her. As she said, hey, my daughters are swimming and they were competing earlier in our event, so that is wonderful to hear from them. Send me a text again, 314-369-3289, or you can send us a note right here through the IM on the YouTube channel. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Next event coming up, the 100-yard breaststroke. Welcome back to the 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. We are here live at Parkway North High School. My name is Matt Judkins, bringing you the action along with Kevin Girth on the production controls. A couple of updates here. We'll get some more to you here as we go on, but a lot of time achievements going back to that 200-yard IM. We had B times established by Elliott Sapp as well as by Alex McGee. BB times across the board for a lot. Willa Shank, Esther Borgmeyer, Cole Strom, Tyler Richter, Leela Hertzler, Jenna Ridings, Connor Moran, Andy Assinger, and Sophia Schmidt, and then an A time for Peyton Robick. So congratulations to all of those youngsters for those time standards that they just surpassed here in that earlier event. We'll get a couple of more here to you as we move on in just a second. They're lining up now. This will be the 100-yard breaststroke. This will be 4 lengths of the pool. Breaststroke really the most technical of the 4 strokes, at least from my novice experience and my novice mind's eye, as all 4 of the swimmers, or all 6 of the swimmers, get up to the starting blocks. If you've got your heat sheet at home, this will be event number 40. This is event number 4 of the morning. Started off with Adam Barnes, top of the screen in lane number 1, Marissa Benny in lane number 2, Colby Robick, middle of the pool in lane 3, Sophia Schmidt in 4, Ava Girth in lane 5, and Audrey Wagner jumping in lane number 6. She was an addition to this session, so she'll get a swim out here. 4 lengths of the pool. They'll go down and back, down and back. That's 2 full laps in swimming jargon, if you will. First one to the wall there in the middle of your screen once again. That's Colby Robick, quickly followed by Audrey Wagner down here in lane 6. Neck and neck are Schmidt and Benny, followed by Girth and Barnes. It's Wagner and Robick touching here. Robick will be first, 41-33. He'll touch and go back the other way. We'll say hi to Colby's parents. Corey and Vicky, of course, his sister Peyton competing here today as well. She just got that A time, and his younger brother Parker also competing for the Parkway swim program, and all of them very adept at multiple different strokes, highly competitive, and they like to do multiple things, play soccer, play baseball. Of course, they attend Good Shepherd School, and he is front running right now. He and Wagner now neck and neck as they get halfway home on this final stretch of the pool. Robick slightly ahead of Wagner as they approach the flags. Wagner, though, closing very strong. Audrey Wagner down here in lane number 6. Robick in lane 3, and it'll be Robick touching first. 1:27.37 for that young man. Nice drop. Over 7 seconds for young Colby on that drop. Wagner quickly behind him at 1:27.67. We don't have her previously established time. 1:31.47. 2-second drop for Schmidt. 1:39.19. Significant drop of 8 seconds for Ava Gurris, so very good for her. Proud Papa sitting right here at the producer's table on that one. 1:47.20 is a 4-second drop for Barnes, and then Betty at 1:49, just off her time and her previous best. Heat number 2. This will be the second heat and the final heat of the event. Leah Bosch will jump in at lane number 1, diving in at lane number 2. Peyton Robick, we mentioned her a moment ago. Emma Eisworth in lane 3. Connor Moran in lane 4. Anna Abig in lane 5. And Nick McBride in lane number 6. Age ranges from 10 up to 14. The 2 in lanes 1 and 2, they are both 10 years old. Moran in lane 4, 11 years old. 13 years old for Eisworth and Abig. And McBride at 14 years old. But these are all very fast swimmers, all of them very technically gifted. And now you see them pulling out. Looks like McBride did not enter the event, but nonetheless, here is Connor Moran in lane number 4. He'll be the first one to touch at 36.85. That's a very fast 36.85. He's trying to beat 1:17.66. Fastest time coming in was Eisworth. She can be very fast. We've seen that over the years. 1:16.10. Good chance to talk to her father a little bit yesterday, and her young brother, next up and coming Parkway swimmer now in swim school, and he can't wait to get out here and compete. Moran, first one to the wall. Here he goes once again. A lot of cheering going on right now. You hear Coach Chris Etherington as well. He's got the swimmers in the pool right now. It's Moran just slightly ahead of the other 2. with Abig and Eisworth flanking him, and Abig closing strong now inside the flags. Moran's going to touch first, followed by Abig and then Eisworth. Very fast for all three of those youngsters. 115, 116, 117. Bringing up at the end, it'll be Robick. She'll touch at 123, and excuse me, DeBosch at 124. Every swimmer in there, with the exception of Robick, who was just slightly off her time, dropping time in this event. So congratulations to them. They're going to do a warm down now. We're going to take a 10-minute break. And as we do, we'll get back to some more of those time standards, and we'll bring that to you in just a few moments. Welcome back to the 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. My name is Matt Judkins, bringing you this afternoon's action. And we get a nice shout out from Layla Hertzler's grandmother, so hopefully I pronounced that correctly. She's asking for any place we can find out about upcoming races. The coaches sent out the meet packet, so someone in the family will have gotten an email with the upcoming events. We are going now to, just for her edification and information, we are now going to event number 5. It's event number 44 overall. She is not listed in this event, and in fact, we are going to go ahead and combine the heats. We've got a couple of swimmers who are not here today, so this will go all 6 lanes. Willa Shank moving from heat 1 to heat number 2. We'll just have one heat in this one if you're looking at event number 41 on your heat sheet. As they get set to go, top of your screen to bottom of your screen, it'll be Tyler Richter in lane 1, Andy Assinger in lane 2, Jenna Ridings in lane 3, Alex McGee in 4, Leah DeBosch in 5, and Willa Shank in lane 6. This is the 100-yard butterfly, true power stroke all the way through. As you see young Alex McGee front run here early on, followed by Jenny Ridings right next to him, and then Andy Assinger in lane 2. It'll be Ridings, then DeBosch, and then Willa Shank. A couple of 10-year-olds down here at the bottom of the pool. Ridings just 12. 13-year-olds are Richter and McGee, and Assinger is a 14-year-old. McGee will be the first one to the wall. You've seen him in this stroke over the last couple of years be very good. A couple of competitors coming to the wall on this one now. But right now it's Assinger followed by, McGee followed by Ridings, and then Assinger. McGee with a very fast time now, trying to beat his previous best in this event, 1:10.74. He's going to be right on that time. Should be a little bit better as he comes close to the wall. He's inside the flags at 105. 2 more strokes. There it goes. Touches the wall. 108.47 for him. Ridings in at 110.92. So Jenna Ridings right about on her time. Then Assinger follows that up with 113.92, slightly ahead. Coming in next, down here, bottom of the screen is DeBosch. That'll all be followed up by Willa Shank finishing things out. So nice meet all the way around. 14-second drop though in that one. Lane number 1 for Tyler Richter. So he has the biggest drop here of this event. We've seen some big drops from him here today after not competing for almost 6 months. You know, you see a lot of these kids, they actually hit a growth spurt. They fill out a little bit. And in his case, it is resulting in some pretty significant time drops for him. We're going to get back here to some of those time standards. You can download the brand new time standards just released on Friday. They are both linked to on this YouTube page as well as on the Parkway website. We brought you the time standard drops earlier, and those who achieved some in the 200-yard AM, going back to the 100-yard freestyle, a B time for Colby Robick, and then BB times for Audrey Wagner, we believe, and Anna Abig and Emma Eisworth. Marissa Benny had in a BB time coming in. In the next event, which was the 100-yard backstroke, 3 BB times. It was Riley Moran, Elliott Sapp, Jenna Ridings, and then a double A time achieved by Leah DeBosch. She got her first AAA time on Friday, and one of only 2 swimmers to achieve that this weekend, along with Tanner Hulsman. BB times as well here, our B time, in the 100-yard breaststroke. That was Colby Robick. Several BB times, I should say. Sophia Schmidt, Leah DeBosch, Peyton Robick, Emma Eisworth, and Anna Abig, and then an A time for Connor Moran in that 100-yard breaststroke. This previous event here, let's check out and see what we've got going here in this event. Of course, some very fast times in that first heat. Alex McGee with a 108 in that freestyle for the young 13, or in that butterfly, and that results in a BB time for that young man. Jenna Ridings slightly off her previous best time for the young 12-year-old. I got that wrong for Alex. That's just a B time for him. 100-yard butterfly for the young ladies in the 12-year-old age group. She had a 109 coming in, 110.92. She had that A time already, and so she missed it by a fraction of a second in that one. Andy Assinger in his 100 fly time, just off the double B time. Leah DeBosch in her 100-yard fly at 119. She will achieve that B time. And then Tyler Richter, he dropped almost 14 seconds, but just slightly off of that B time as well. So that's how we round things out here. We are all caught up. Heat one. And we've got an update here as we get ready for the last event here of our morning sessions. This will be the 200-yard freestyle. We're going to have 2 heats. That's 8 lengths of the pool, 4 full laps. What's a length and what's a lap? A length is just going from one end of the pool to the other. A lap is going down one end of the pool and then back to the other end of the pool, back to where you started at the starting blocks. They're just about set to go here. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the pictures from all this weekend, all the sounds, the sights of this Parkway IMX swim meet. Couldn't be possible without Kevin Girth. He is producing the entire broadcast from his portal set up here in the middle of the bleachers. Multi-camera setup, very slick all the way around with the software. "200-yard freestyle coming in now. This is all 6 lanes. Not sure who's in lane 6. That might be Libby Price. We'll have to check to see, but it'll be Layla Herzl in lane 1, Taylor Atroji in lane 2, Peyton Robick in 3, Riley Moran in 4, Audrey Wagner in 5. For this medium distance event, again, this requires a lot of concentration from the swimmers because you have to pace yourself. You got to be able to go out fast, maintain that speed, and then come home strong. So Audrey, first one to touch here, lane number 5. She was a late entry. And she comes up on 75 yards, continues to head the pack. Lane 3 in this one is Robick. She's in second place, followed by Riley Moran, Taylor Trogi, and I believe that's Libby Price here in lane 6, and then Layla Herzl. Halfway through here at 100 yards, Audrey Wagner pacing out at 108.57. She'll have to see if she can maintain that speed at about 34 seconds a lap. Middle of the pool continues to be pretty even with Robick and Moran out here in lane 6. Price continuing to close the gap a little bit. One more lap of the pool left now for Audrey Wagner. She pushes and goes the other way. Next one is Riley Moran. She'll come in at 155.56. Riley trying to beat 245. She's well ahead of that right now. Peyton Robick also trying to beat 244. She's well ahead of it as she was inside 2 minutes on her split. Got Price, and then in lane number 2, Trogi and Layla Herzl in lane number 1. And Audrey Wagner will come in. She's a very fast 2:21. 2:21.05, quickly followed in there by Moran at 2:31. 90, 234. Significant drops for both her, for Riley and Peyton. 236.62. And all wrapped up, 247 for Taylor and 251 for Layla. So that'll be our first heat here in this 200-yard freestyle. Now we'll jump in with 6 swimmers here in heat number 2. Starting from the top of your screen to the bottom in lane number 1, it'll be Sophia Schmidt, Leah Devash, in lane number 2, Connor Moran in lane 3, Emma Eisworth in lane 4, Anna Abig in lane 5, and then Colby Robick in lane number 6. Out first and fast is Connor Moran. Of course, both his parents college swimmers at St. Louis University, and his aunt was chiming in the other night and tuning in from Florida. He is the older brother of Riley Moran, who just swam in the previous heat. Right now, he's about a body length ahead of the next two. That's Eisworth and Abig. Followed closely in behind by Colby Robick and Leah DeBosch, as well as Sophia Schmidt. Moran, the first one to touch at 50 yards at 30.04. Very fast for him. He's trying to break 2:12.78. He came in with the fastest preliminary time, followed by Eisworth at 2:25. 2:35 for DeBosch, 2:37 for Abig, 2:39 for Schmidt, and Colby Robick at 2:43. Age groups in this event, 10, 11, 12, and 13. DeBosch is 10, Moran 11, 12 years old for Colby Robick, as well as Sophia Schmidt, and then Eisworth and Abig, both 13. Back the other way now for Connor Moran as he touches once again. Again, trying to go under 2:12. 1:03.51. He should beat that if he can maintain his pace. Again, this event requires swimmers to be able to pace themselves, be consistent, and then have enough left in that last lap to really bring it home. Moran will touch at 2:37. If he's able to maintain his pace, and you can expect he's going to kick it into gear, he will beat his previous time. Even at the walls, they touch Eisworth and Abig, Schmidt, then DeBosch and Robick coming in together. They'll both touch and go back the other way. Moran now kicking it into gear. He's going to leave nothing left in the pool here in this final event of the second morning session. He's halfway home. Again, trying to beat 2:12 inside the flags. He's at 2:07. It's going to be a good touch. He's going to out-touch that 2:12. 2:10.65 for Connor Moran. 2-second drop for that young man. Pushing their way to the wall. We are evens off. We've got a race now. It's Eisworth and Abig. Abig and Eisworth. It'll be Abig who'll just out-touch her by 0.18 here. Fourth in the heat in lane number 1 was Schmidt, followed by DeBosch at 2:30. She's 5 seconds better than her previous time, and Colby Robick. He'll shave 11 seconds off his previous time. So we're going to bet there's going to be some time standards achieved in that one. We'll tally those up here in just a moment, so stay tuned with us before we sign off in this session. But that'll do it here for our second session here this morning. We'll take a break, and coming back, we are set to start about noon. Swimmers will start ferreting in here in just a few minutes, and we are set to start at just about 12 o'clock for that final session. But let's look at some of these time standards on this 200-yard freestyle. Several 10-year-olds in that first event, in that first heat. Robick, Moran, and Herzl. And in that 200-yard freestyle, all of them will have achieved a time standard. BB time for Herzl. Moran and Robick. Moran and Robick in the A time category. Both of them getting A times in their respective events. Do not have the times in, but Libby Price, well, could probably, if that was her actually in lane 6, achieving a BB time. And then rounding things out in that event, Audrey Wagner and Schrogi and Wagner. Let's see how she did. She was very fast. I believe I think that would have been a BB time for her. And then Taylor just off of the BB time for him. second heat, of course, Connor Moran, he led all swimmers in that one. The 11-year-old came in at a very fast 2:10, and that'll be an A time for Connor. In that heat, 11 and 12-year-olds were Robic. 11 and 12-year-olds. Yeah, Connor with the A time. So we go back to the 10-year-old, Leah DeBosch here in that first event for her. 2:30 would have achieved an A time for that young lady as well. But then you go to the 11 and 12-year-olds, you have Robic, and we talked about Connor, so Colby Robic with that 200-yard freestyle, B time for him. And Sophia Schmidt, saving almost 13 seconds off her previous best time in the 200 free. She'll come in with a solid BB time well underneath the cut line. And then in the 13-year-olds, Eisworth and Abig, 2:23. They were 0.18 seconds apart as they came in second and third in the heat, respectively. And they both achieved very solid B times for that. That'll just about wrap things up here from session number 2, and we're going to take a break again. Session number 3 set to start right around noon in just about an hour, so be sure to join us. Be sure to tell your friends they can tune in right here on the YouTube channel. We want to thank Kevin Girth for bringing you this great production, for all the volunteers here in this session as well, to all the coaches and all those officials as well. Until next time, my name is Matt Judkins. We'll sign off for about an hour, and we'll join you for our final session around noon here on Sunday. Thanks and so long.